Hi, my name is Ken Bergman, and I work at the Low Country Fly Shop in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I work here as a retail sales, selling fly rods, reels, flies, doing fly tying. We've got a great set of flood tides coming up with the full moon, so I wanted to show you guys how to tie one of the flies I use around here in the grass for redfish, and they really seem to like it. I call it the copper clobber. It's a great crab pattern. It's got a little bit of flash in it, a little bit of rabbit in it, so it's a pretty good pattern for clobbering some redfish in the grass.
Go ahead and put the eyes in. Leave enough room on the front for a weed guard. Bring the thread back to the tail. Put the rabbit fur in. Make sure you put it leather side up. I'm going to put a little flash in the tail. I like a bright copper. For summertime and wintertime I'll use a darker color. Wrap that in nice and tight. And I'm going to trim the flash off just about the same length as the leather, just a little bit shorter. From here we're going to put the body in. That's this foil cord. And that's going to figure eight in just like a merkin pattern, just like you would do for yarns or wools or any other kind of body you'd do for these kind of crabs. We're just going to keep figure eighting in this material for the body all the way. If you get a gap in between like that, just go ahead and tie it in. And what you can do is your next piece of body you're going to put in, just bring it back in between and fill in the gap. Doing lately is using a little bit of red, same material, just in red. You can get it in a bunch of different colors. Just putting a little bit of red in right behind the eyes. Roll your fly over, because the lead guard works much better when it's on the hook. Put it in with some loose wraps. Kind of get it in place, and then I'll pull it back away from the eye. Just finish wrapping the head with thread. To make things easier for your weed guards, pull them forward a little bit. And wrap your thread behind your mono or your weed guard material, and that builds a little dam of thread up behind your weed guard, helps them stand up a little bit more. Finish up the head. trim these a little bit higher than the hook point. So now my weed guard set. Use the Clear goo. Put that on there, just like you would a regular cement. Hit it with the UV. And this will dry in seconds. It's opposed to waiting for hours for the traditional head cements to set up. And our last step, our next to the last step, is going to trim the body. Make sure everything's a little even. Roll it over. And you want your sides to be proportional so that they're both the same size. And the last thing we're going to do to this fly is to get this to fray out, is we're just going to kind of pinch it together. And that'll cause this stuff to fray. There's a cotton cord that goes inside this that you want to make sure you strip out before you start tying with it. And this will give you a nice furry little body, nice and flashy. Make it nice and smooth. And there you have the copper clobber.
Now, how I fish this fly is I'll get it between 3 and 4 feet in front of them and just let it sit in front of them. And the rabbit fur has great action on the water, so even the redfish swimming towards it will actually push enough water to make that rabbit fur start to pulse and move around. But I'll just kind of let it sit still. If they swim over it, a lot of times you're pulling it up underneath them, they'll turn back around on it. But most of the time there's enough flashing that they're going to see it.
It's a great redfish pattern for these flood tides coming up. We tie the copper clobber, we tie a lot of other local patterns. A lot of custom fly work here. The Low Country Fly Shop is a full-service fly shop here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Me, Gifford, Scotty, or Michael will be able to help you with anything you need for fly fishing.